The UK is releasing thousands of prisoners, thousands, not 5, 10, to make room for protesters who are getting arrested and for people speaking out against the migrants online. Isn't that, and the government? Isn't that weird? It's called Operation Early Dawn, which is an emergency measure, has been reactivated to manage overcrowded prisons, particularly in regions like Northeast Yorkshire and parts of Northwest England. It was implemented in response to an influx of prisoners because, lately they've been, speaking up because, guys, their children are getting stabbed to death at dance parties for Taylor Swift. People are just bro, the amount of stuff, and thank God for X that I could see, bro. Just a girl in Europe was trying to go into a door, and this huge African migrant is grabbing her purse, not letting her get into her apartment, and people are just walking around. They're not doing anything. Nothing. Okay, it's insane. So there are concerns about the number of people that are coming in are the online crime people. Because online now in Europe, as we showed in a previous episode, if you're just online criticizing the government, you are going to go to jail. Is that insane?
Well, insane. Can we appreciate the stupidity of the name they gave it? Early dawn? I mean, that's sort of a, what's the word? Not an oxymoron, but a redundancy. Like, is there a late dawn? It's dawn, okay? It happens in the morning. It's the early part of the morning.
Dawn, and you said something about it too, right?
Yeah, well, dawn just shows up in a lot of, like, cults and conspiracy theories, like the Order of the New Dawn is one that comes to mind. It's just like, it's a very weird name.
It's just weird. And it's just weird that it's an operation. No, just call it what it is. We want to get rid of criminals. And mind you, these criminals, they're criminals who have served 40% of their sentence. And I mean, dude, why not? Okay, it's not like the UK has had a spike in crime. So it's like, let them out. And these are, guys, just a couple of facts. Violent crimes against women on Britain's trains, just on trains, because people ride the trains a lot, are up more than 50%. Violence against women and girl-related crimes rose almost 40%, 40% between 2018 and 2023, and more than 1 million, I'm going to say that again, 1 million violent crimes against women and children are recorded in the year leading up to March 2023. And this is a weird one, Dave. Acid attacks.
Oh, damn it, that's what I was just
Acid attacks have risen 75%, with half of them targeting women. And guys, I'm going to go on a limb, Ian. That's not because Andrew Tate is saying crazy stuff online. It's not about people criticizing shit. But Natalia has a chart I want to show you guys to explain this. This is why it's happening. Maybe this will solve it. Can you guys put this chart up really fast? Oh, guys, look at this. Non-EU migration has risen. And look at the dates. See that? Dip, and then boom. Non-citizens are there. People, it's not a secret why the freaking crime is going on. Ian, I know you see about this. You've spoken about this. What the hell is going on? Honestly.
I mean, what better excuse to bring in a security state, to bring in more totalitarian rule than violent crime? That's always been, like, in order to establish empirical totalitarian rule, you need a reason to do it.
So do you think, because Ian, we're not stupid, especially I know our viewers aren't, everybody in this room isn't, it's such a blatantly obvious, because they play that whole game of, it's like America when they're open border, like, we have to help everybody. The Statue of Liberty is a beacon.
They have to help. Let's just assume the premise of their argument. They have to help migrants who are fleeing war-torn countries because of wars that they are initiating or exacerbating in foreign countries. Yeah. So it's obscene. But just like we laughed. It's not funny.
Well, it's not funny, but it's just like acid.
75% increase with 1,244 recorded offenses in 2023, up from 710. I mean, it's nearly doubling.
Can you
acid
define
attacks.
an acid attack for me? What the?
Yeah, like they literally getting sulfuric acid and stuff, and they're throwing it in people's faces, throwing it on their shirts, and it's not like provoked attacks. It's this ideology, this extremism. And guys, and again, mind you, I criticize this. I talk about everybody, and we just spoke about this. David's Jewish. I'm Assyrian. We're both Semites. Well, how many? What's the Muslim population in the world? Do you know?
It's 1-something billion.
It's 1.8 billion. Okay, let's just say, and this is way too conservative just for the numbers, 10% of that group is radicalized, extreme, F Christians, F the. How many is that out of 1.8?
It's 180 million.
180 million people hate us, hate Christians, hate you, hate Jews. I mean, forget it. I don't know who they. I mean, they're probably equal. Jews and Christians?
The problem is it's like they say the number one victim of Islamic terrorism are Muslims, and it's true. The issue is that I'll not blame the West for exacerbating foreign conflict, but at least participating in it for regime change.
Yeah.
And you create the sentiment, and then you say, well, we have to now help these innocent victims of war and have unbridled, unmitigated, unverified, call it migration or invasion or whatever. And you know that you're getting a certain percentage of radicals who are angry at what they perceive the West is having done to their countries, and now they've infiltrated the West. What the hell do you think is going to happen on a collective basis, on an individual basis, whether or not it's Islam per se? In the UK, you are letting in people who, with no verification whatsoever and no insurance of not assimilation but integration, and it's obvious what happens. I mean, they don't have guns
look at
there,
what's
so you have
happening.
knife violence and acid violence.
Look, I actually, Vinny, you remember I called this 4 months ago that this was going to happen.
I walked in and you said it was cooked. He literally said, he looked at me and he goes, Vinny, the UK is cooked. This is 8:30 in the morning. I walk in and that's the first thing he said. And I was like, what do you mean? And then look where we are.
Look, I've been following, I mostly do, international stories here. I mostly do cover Europe and this and that. We had Dominic Tarsinski. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
He was on today.
Yeah, he was on today this morning and we recorded the podcast. And he brought a really good point. He made himself famous for saying that not a single Muslim will get into Poland.
Illegally or just in general?
No, not a single one. Because the thing is that there's civilizations and there's societies that are not compatible. You remember when we had Windows and Mac, some software was for Mac, some software was for Windows.
Yeah.
Some people work well together. Like here in the States, a couple of million Mexicans here, they won't go on an acid attack rant.
No, they might take your job.
They might take your job, normal stabbings, normal thievery, it's fine. Yeah. But there are some people.
It's not acid.
It's not acid. It's funny. I was just looking at the Wikipedia page of acid attack because acid attacks, they come from a certain place. Okay. This is mostly Southeast Asia.
That's what I was asking is who comes up with this?
Countries
well, it's because in a country where you can't get guns, it's easy to
get
get acid from other sources.
It's a thing about it's a thing about honor. Have you heard about honor killing?
Mm-hmm.
So if your girlfriend, God, she has her job wrong. You just throw acid at her because she's ruining your family's honor. Yeah. And this is very common in Pakistan, very common in Bangladesh, very common in all those countries. So what's happening here, and mind you, I'm gonna get so much heat for this. Europeans, they've been expelling Muslims since history started. They've been expelling Muslims.
Yeah.
Like, I have some Spanish heritage. We did the Reconquista when the Muslims, they came into Spain. They took half of Spain and then they got kicked out, And that's been Europe for thousands of years because those two civilizations, they're different. I'm not saying one is worse, one is better, but they just won't get along. They won't assimilate.
I agree, dude, completely different. Like, one Sharia law, one is not letting women do this, one is killing gays, and the other one is like throwing them off of buildings. It's like, it's not working.
And Vinny, mind you, this doesn't come from a place of hate. I grew up in a Muslim country, okay? Yeah. I lived 12 years in a Muslim country under Sharia law. It works wonderful. Like, it's not the Western world, but it works really well. Like, I could leave my car open with my keys inside and the car running.
Because you know why? If anybody takes it, they're going to chop their hands.
No effing around. So, like, if you're a straight white male, it's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Yeah.
There's an important point to be made too, that the parties that are advocating for all this immigration, they're the parties of diversity, like embrace diversity, right? And they try to spin that as embrace diversity, all coming in and mingling everywhere. Yeah. But you know what happens when you get everyone mingling in one big pot? There's no more diversity because suddenly the world becomes homogenized. Yep. And diversity only comes from having a different culture over there and a different culture over there and a different culture over there that are all, it's just like different animal populations. If they all come together and start having babies, suddenly you're going to only have one animal population.
Yeah, I put out a while back, it was a tweet that said, the difference between a melting pot and a powder keg is a matter of degrees. And everyone's like, no, it's not bad. Good. But then people were like, nah, it's a matter of ingredients, which is also true to some extent. But like, yeah, we've gone from the melting pot, which is ideologically driven, people who have an American spirit, regardless of skin color, race, religion, creed, versus powder keg throwing things that will not, water and oil will not mix together unless shaken sufficiently hard, and then you get your emulsification powder keg.
Yeah, and just really, because I want to go really fast. Going back to the releasing the prisoners, like, you know what this reminds me of? Remember during COVID, we kind of brushed over it. We were releasing prisoners here in Florida. They released Joseph Williams. He had a history of violent crime because of COVID. They didn't want him to get sick. He was arrested again for committing murder when he got out. And then in Virginia in 2020, Ibrahim Bouachi was released from jail after his lawyers argued that COVID posed a threat to his health. He was waiting charges of rape, abduction, strangulation. When he was released, he allegedly murdered the woman that he accused of raping. So this is, by the way, brother, I have to finish. Trust me, I know. This is, by the way, the dumbest Operation UK, again proving that you guys are cooked. And just the last thing, Matt has this, misogyny is going to be treated as extremism by the UK government. And I'm like, can you imagine? Like, we're in jail. Hey, ask me what I'm at. Hey, we're in jail.
Yo, bro, what you in for, bro?
Interrupted a girl talking, and I was arrested. Play out. I whistled for my dog, and the girl turned around, and I'm fucking, one of the bubbies got me. That's unbelievable, but yet so believable because, bro, what else do you expect from these people? Nothing is going right. Like, when I saw this, I wasn't surprised.
You know what it is? I'll go fast.
Yeah.
If this is to protect female politicians from being criticized and attacked. Guaranteed.
1,000%.
All of this.
Look how happy she was in the photo. She's like, can't say nothing to me. Dude, I haven't heard it, but if I ever hear one person going, I'm moving to Europe, I'm going to say,
is the C word, and especially in a country that uses the C word, C-U-N-T.
Yeah.
Everyone's in jail.
I just need to get this point in. This is unbelievably dumb. They're putting in jail some of the best people because there's people that are noticing that this is going into a totalitarian state.
The people that'll stand up to it.
The people that will stand up, they're putting those guys in jail and taking out the criminals. So it's a churn of like good people in, bad people out.
Ignorant.
Stupid.
It's going to fail horribly. What's up, everybody? Vincent O'Shawn here. If you want to see me and the entire Valuetainment crew, we will be at the Vault Conference September 4th through the 7th at the Palm Beach Convention Center, hosted by none other than Patrick Bet-David and featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Guys, this is the place to be. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to level up, do not miss this opportunity. This is the best place to network. If you want tickets, go to thevaultconference.com. Do not waste time. This thing is going to sell out, and I will see you guys there. Peace and love. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.